Yeah, what's going on? So today we're gonna be these two knuckleheads. We're gonna be comparing these two knuckleheads, Russell Westbrook versus James Harden. I like both these guys, man. Two high profile players, two stars in the league. Both originated off the OKC Thunder. Uh, definitely big time guards in the league. They're both top five at their position. Uh, you know, Actually, Russell Westbrook, he might not be in my top five at his position, but it's arguable. We have to talk about that. But I decided to do some videos where I compare players who similar skill level, similar talent, similar accomplishments, and we're just gonna compare various parts of their games and assign points to each category, and the winner is the one who comes out with the most points. So the points and the categories are scoring, passing, defense, leadership, value, competition, clutchness, accolades, head to head. And that'll add up to their final score. So just make sure you guys definitely check down below and subscribe. If you appreciate it, if you follow Hoops, definitely subscribe to the channel. We put out content on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and weekends. That's the schedule right now for uploading. It's Tuesdays, Thursdays, weekends. We got more hoop content coming. So definitely appreciate it. Make sure you comment down below any thoughts. So look, right here in this first category, scoring. Both these motherfuckers, both of these dudes are inefficient shooters, all right, in spots. James scores from around the floor. Russ is far more limited in his skill set with regards to scoring. But, both are good/excellent free throw shooters, with James shooting about 85.8% last season. And, and with Russ shooting about 81% for his career. Both of them are pretty good free throw shooters, so I'm not going to knock them there. But, everybody knows with Westbrook, all you got to do to beat the OKC Thunder is just sag off Westbrook and just dare this motherfucker to shoot it. Because unlike LeBron has a little more IQ than Westbrook. They're both similar players, but Westbrook, this motherfucker, instead of being scared to shoot, passes off, this motherfucker's going to shoot it. Knowing damn well he can't hit that shit. So all you gotta do is let Westbrook shoot it, and you gotta let him beat you from outside or make crazy plays. But with James, you can throw James into a lot of different offensive systems, and still utilize him as a weapon that can help your team. James, he can't be a 10 out of 10. Why? Because that's reserved for players like Kobe, LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Jordan, Kevin Durant, etc., etc. Those are efficient scorers who get the buckets in bunches. Get the buckets in bunches, game in and game out, and you can count on them and they're efficient. So this round, James is gonna get a 9 out of 10, and Russ is gonna get an 8. So moving on to passing, Russ, both of them are, they get the assists in bunches, but they also put out a shit ton of turnovers. Oh my gosh, you ever watch one of these games for the Rockets or the Thunder? All you're gonna see is James Harden or Russell Westbrook throwing the ball away. I mean, they have the ball to, whole bunch of the game. Many of the minutes they have the ball in their hands. But I mean, sheesh. So I looked at their turnovers per game from last year, and Russell, Russ gets about a 2.14 assist to turnover ratio, and James getting about a 2 assist to turnover ratio, which basically they're the same thing, but not really. Russ edges them out a little bit. They're both equally mediocre in this statistic. So I'll give the edge to Westbrook over James. Westbrook's going to get 7.5 points for this, and James is going to get 7. All right, so with defense, I decided to cut out rebounding out of this category because both of them are stat padders with the rebounds. And they're both guards, and they kind of cancel each other out. I didn't decide to look at that. With defense, Westbrook gets the nod here, but not by a lot. It's not by a lot. Why? Because James, yeah, he's a terrible defender. I mean, all right, let's just keep it a buck. James couldn't guard a statue, all right, except for last year and his early years in OKC. Post OKC, he's a lazy shit fest of a defender. But while he was with CP3 last year, he did raise his defensive activity. Being a more active defender. And Russell Westbrook, in comparison to that, or in contrast to that, Russell Westbrook, this motherfucker only plays defense if his man has the ball. Like, watch an OKC Thunder game, I promise you. Russell Westbrook only plays defense if his man has the ball, or if his man is standing still. He'll just stand by his man. All right? He will not run around screens. He's late running back on the break. Just watch Russell Westbrook, for the entirety of the game. I promise you he moves around very little. All right, so his total body of work slightly outweighs James, but it's not by a lot. So Russ in this category gets a 7.5, and James gets a 6.5. So with leadership, I'm going to go ahead and give James Harden a 7.5, and Russ gets a 7 on this one. And I wanted to say the score first on this one, and then tell you guys why. So while Russell Westbrook, he was the second best player on a team that went to the NBA Finals, since then, we've seen that Westbrook has a deficiency, to say the least, leading his team to success. All right. So in 2015, when Kevin Durant went out for the season with that horrific foot injury, Westbrook, he failed to lead the Thunder to the playoffs. And anybody who wants to say anything, Kevin Durant did that shit just the year before that. When Westbrook went down, he led the playoff. He led the Thunder to the playoffs. James Harden, he strung together multiple seasons, leading the Rockets to postseason success. The first year he had a first-round exit. This is James Harden. First year in Houston, had a first-round exit. Second year, playoff exit after Damian Lillard's shot heard around the world. The third year, led the Rockets to the Western Conference Finals, losing in 5 to Golden State. The fourth year, lost in the first round to Golden State in 5. And the fifth year, they lost to the Spurs in 6 in the second round. And in the sixth year, he lost to the Golden State Warriors in 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. Right, and this is after his MVP season. So both these players, they can't receive an 8 because, I'm sorry, my 8 on that rating scale, that's reserved for champions. All right. Now these motherfuckers are champions, so we got to reserve that 8 just for the champions and up. So I have to give James some credit though. He's led his team to great postseason success without winning a championship. But you got to get there. You got to plant your flag. So we're gonna move on to value. In terms of value, I think James has shown that he has a more positive effect on his teammates than Russell Westbrook has. I just have to ask you, let's just keep it a buck. Name one player, please, listen in the comments below. Go ahead and do that. Name one player that has gotten better from playing with Westbrook than without him. I'll wait. With James, directly after arriving to Houston, Eric Gordon won the 6th Man of the Year in 2016, 2017. Various other people, who've been maximized by playing with James Harden. Westbrook, this man's notorious for players, leaving him and having more success than when they were there. Motherfuckers like Victor Oladipo, Kevin Durant, both just took off. Motherfuckers just soared after they left Westbrook. And while Westbrook is, immensely talented, James is gonna win this round, with an 8 versus Russell at a 7. In terms of competition, in this category, both of them have faced, relatively the same competition in their respective conferences. Cause motherfuckers play in the same damn conference. Like they play the same people. Like the fuck else is there to judge on this? Easy score for this category. They're both gonna get an 8.5 for their competition in this competition category. They're not gonna get 9s because neither of them have made it to the finals. Just call it what it is. Neither of them made it to the finals, and we can't really talk about competition being at a 9 level if you're not facing a potential champion from the other conference. So we're gonna move on to clutchness. Russell Westbrook's gonna get this category by a smidgen, only because, he's not really clutch. More so, just this motherfucker puts up everything in sight. All right, this motherfucker's bound to hit one of the motherfuckers sooner or later. All right. James he's not really known for his clutch play, but I'll give him some credit. He usually doesn't allow the games to get that close to the buzzer beater level. Nonetheless, I'd rather have Russell for the second half in a do or die situation. So I want to give Russell the nod here with a 7. James Harden's going to get a 6. In terms of accolades, James Harden, aka the Beard, is a 6-time All-Star, 1-time scoring champ, 1-time assist champ, a 5-time All-NBA. 3 years he finished in the top 3 for MVP voting, and is a 1-time regular season MVP. Russell Westbrook, however, aka Beastbrook, is a 7-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 1-time assist champ, and 7-time All-NBA with 1 regular season MVP. All right, so both these motherfuckers have trophies on trophies on trophies for days. Both are going to finish this category relatively similarly because Russ, he only has the edge in terms of counting awards like All-Stars. He came into the league 1 year before James Harden did, so I'm not going to knock him too much for that, James. So I'm going to give both of them a great score of an 8.5 and an 8.5. To get into that 9 level for this category, you have to have a chip. I can't give you no fucking 9 if you haven't accomplished the major goal of the team sport, which is to win a championship. So moving on to the head-to-head. And this is where things get dicey. This is where things get real dicey. So in the 2013 playoffs, Russell and KD, they defeated James Harden in James Harden's first solo run with the Houston Rockets in 6 games. Where James, his second best player was Jeremy Lin. But, Russell did, he did defeat him. But in 2016, 2017, we were able to kind of see James Harden versus Russell Westbrook mano y mano. Like, this is just, there's no second best players that are like that stand out. It's just these two motherfuckers, right? It's basically just 1v1, and James Harden beat him in 5 in the first round. But the thing is, with that series, the 2016-2017 series, that was supposed to be the one that showcased, the two players who were the 2 finalists for MVP, being pitted against each other, and in a battle for like supremacy, and Harden was just cooking them boys up in the series, right? This motherfucker was averaging like 28.5, 8.5 assists. I'm not gonna lie, Westbrook put up like 38 points per game, but this is after Patrick Beverley tricked his dumb ass. Patrick Beverley tricked this man Russell Westbrook into trying to drop 50 on him. Russell Westbrook tried to drop 50 on his head. You can hear it in the interview after the series, after losing the series. Westbrook was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I put like 40 on him, and I had like 40 something. This motherfucker Patrick Beverley just responded. He said, "Look, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. We won't let you take that many shots if you want to, dude." We won. So I'm gonna give Harden this category. He wins the head-to-head because when Russell beat him, he beat him in 6 games, and he had Kevin Durant with him. Kevin Durant was their best player, and they beat them in 6. They really should have beat him in 4 or 5, but 6 to 7. So I'm going to give James credit here because those two, when they finally met up with each other, one-on-one, James dominated him. It wasn't even close. So I'm going to give James Harden 8 and Russell Westbrook a 7 in that final category. So the final score here, it's a lot closer than I thought it would be. Very close. Russell Westbrook finished with a score of 68, and James Harden finished with a score of 69. So there you have it. James Harden ended up winning this battle. There's a lot of time for Russell Westbrook to clean stuff up, but I doubt he will. His basketball IQ is horrendous. I'm sure he's a smart dude off the court, but let's just keep it a buck. Russell Westbrook makes terrible decisions on the court. That's why he's in the position that he's in right now. But hopefully both of these brothers can get it together this season, and hopefully in the near future, maximize their talent and win a championship. Who knows? But all right, we'll put out more. Let me know what you guys think. I'll probably put out some more of these. Just if we get over a certain amount of likes, I'll probably do another one. Just comment down below some more of these that you might want to see. All right.